It's funny, isn't it, how random things can just make you think of things. I was picking up Alice from work yesterday, and I took a back road on the way home, and past a turning in a house where my son Anthony's friend Cameron lives. And back when Anthony was at college, sometimes I would go with Liz to pick up Anthony from college, usually on a Friday or something if I was working from home, which I typically always did. And she would drive her car, and Cameron would be there, and Anthony would be like, "Can we give Cameron a lift home?" And Liz would get very annoyed. And the last time that happened, Liz was kind of, "This is the last time, and we gave Cameron a lift home, and he never asked us again. And I was passing his house, and I was thinking, Liz can't even drive anymore. She doesn't even have a car. She would probably really like to be able to give Cameron a lift home, as much as she didn't like doing it at the time. It's something that she'll never do again, and a road which we will never drive up together again. Certainly not with her driving. Her car's long gone. Her driving licence has formally been surrendered, although between you and me I have kept it. Couldn't actually face sending it back. And that kind of set me off yesterday. One of my attacks of sadness. Anyway, I haven't been here for ages. Look, we've got new benches and a table. That's nice. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. It's Friday. I don't actually know the date. What is the date? 17th of October. And it's 16:58. And this is the first time I've left the house walking for a week. I have been back at home since I left hospital So I left hospital Wednesday last week, so I've been back home 9 days. I have been evacuating my bowels for England, shall we say, and I haven't been feeling at all well, and I've had a very strange kind of week. It's fair to say, loads of people suddenly turned up now. It's fair to say I've had something of a mental health crisis this week. So I was officially signed off work until Thursday last week, and I kind of said that I would try and get back to work on the Friday and do some sort of admin tasks. And unfortunately on the Friday I was far too tired, so I took that day off as well, even though I wasn't signed off. So 7 days off work. And I spent most of Friday in bed. And then, of course, Saturday, Sunday, Alice wasn't around, and I was really out of sorts Saturday and Sunday. And I tried to apply myself on Monday, and I got through Monday, and then Tuesday, I was so lonely. There was no Alice in the house. It was just me and the cats, and I was trying to get into work, and I couldn't think straight. My brain was full of cobwebs and fog, and it was absolutely awful, and I felt so lonely. And I'll be honest with you guys, all I could think about was, is it time just to check out now? And that's all I think about lately, is it's time for me to check out. I don't want to check out, but I haven't seen Liz now for coming up to 3 weeks because I've been ill and or in hospital, and I don't want to infect her. I've only been to the toilet twice today, which is good, better than the 6 times it was this time last week. And I hate to be gross, it's slowly firming up, shall we say. I'm not eating very much, though. I am trying to keep my fluids up. But Tuesday was just this absolute intense, crushing despair. I haven't had this for a long time. The last time I had this was about 28 years ago, when I was first diagnosed with clinical depression, and I felt so bad. I went to bed and just hid from the world. And I was so desperate for company, I actually put on Facebook, look, I'm having a mental health crisis. Can somebody come and keep me company for a few hours? Partly to reassure myself that I wasn't going to do anything silly, but also I just needed somebody there to talk to, some company. You know what I mean? I never thought I'd say this, but it's a fact. So anyway, an old Lego friend, Alistair, rang me and was on the phone to me for about an hour. I spoke with a friend, Karen, who is a mutual acquaintance through Siobhan. She's looking after Siobhan's dog now since Siobhan died. I spoke with my friend Peter Reed, good friend from Lego days. Really wish we lived closer to each other. We could do amazing things together. Who else did I speak to? Oh yes, and I ended up, and I'm sorry if I've missed you off the list, various people pinged me and dropped me a note. I ended up talking with the Samaritans as well, because I just wanted some contact, and they were very nice and listened. I then spoke with Liz, and Liz just unfortunately gave me a lecture about how I couldn't afford to take time off work and how I had a family to look after. I knew all this already. I didn't need to be told. But she insisted on telling me and giving me a telling off. And if I'm honest with you, any good that had been done with the previous calls, that just kind of reset everything. Unfortunately, Liz appears to be immune to anything else that I am going through. So anyway, Wednesday, having spent most of Tuesday in bed, Wednesday I picked myself up and I went back to work. A little bit half-heartedly, I will admit. My mind wasn't completely on it, let's be honest. And I did put a thing online saying thank you to everyone who had reached out to me and contacted me and, given me assurance. And I started to feel a bit better. And then yesterday I was working and I got a doorbell rang and I was in the middle of a call making notes, and it was the police. 2 female police officers, very, very nice. And of course I immediately thought, Christ, am I in trouble? No, it was a welfare check. Basically, whenever I post something on Facebook, it gets cross-copied to threads, and somebody had asked the police to come and check on me, which was nice. Anyway, they sat down, I told them what was going on, and we had a nice conversation. But yeah, I had the police around my house, so that was exciting, different, certainly interesting, So what else have I done this week? Well, it's Friday and I finished work for the week. I am feeling a bit better physically. I am feeling a little bit better mentally. Part of this was all set off when Liz and I had that disagreement, and apparently I'm not allowed to have friends or go anywhere or spend time with anyone else. That's what started it. And then of course there was the Alice birthday thing, and then of course my physical health declined because of the gastroenteritis. So I can typically cope with my brain not working, and I can typically cope with my body not working, but not at the same time. And as I may have said before, I've been trying to hold everyone together for 2 years and trying to please everybody for 2 years and keep everybody happy. And it got to a point where apparently I wasn't keeping anybody happy. And so mental health crisis definitely fits the bill in terms of what I've been through this week. I actually got quite worried. So there you go. I do feel a bit trapped because I could really do with some time off work to kind of work on myself and spend a bit of time doing things that I used to enjoy and getting back into life, but I can't afford to take the time off work because I can't afford to go on to sick pay. Anyway, the police said they might be able to put me in touch with adult social services, which sounds like a really weird sentence for me to be saying, you know. But that's what they said might happen. Anyway, I came out for a walk specifically to do this vlog because I haven't left the house on my own 2 feet in ages. I've been out in the car a few times, but I haven't actually been able to trust myself because I've kind of been figuratively tied to the toilet. And it's the first day where I feel confident enough to not be tied to the toilet. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm walking around. I'm still wearing a nappy, by the way, and I can still feel my stomach going gurgle, 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 and I probably will have to head back home soon. But yeah, that is the situation at this time. So I can't be out for long. Also, I wanted to get out before the sun disappeared. You'll notice we have a cloudy sky. Do you know why we've got a cloudy sky? Because there's a comet out there, and whilst there's a comet, I'm not allowed to get the telescope out. I'm certainly not allowed to get pictures of the final phases of the moon. Literally every time the final phase of the moon comes round, I get instant cloud cover and I can't complete my collage of photos. And I certainly can't take photos of this comet that's up there because, heaven forbid, that would make for content. Not allowed to have content. Photos. No. Nope. And I guarantee you, the minute the comet's gone and the minute the moon phase is finished, which will be soon, it'll be really, really cold and there'll be no clouds and I'll see the stars. But by that time, it'll be pointless. And we'll have to wait for the next phase of the moon, whereupon the clouds will roll in and, of course, completely block any view I have of anything that I want to see. Anyway, this is Beggarwood Park. In an ideal world, I'd be walking out here every day. I used to walk out here every day. There are many areas here where I've done Action Man photo shoots. The area right in front of us, I did a shoot a few years back, supposedly on the Russian front. It's all gone a bit, the growth. This used to be relatively flat. I'm not complaining, it's good. But it was certainly nothing like this just a few years ago. A lot of stuff is growing over there. Behind those log things is an old historic tree line. There's a definition of an historic tree line. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's on one of these signs here somewhere. Basically, this tree line that extends up there has been there, I think, for over 1,000 years. So That's what they mean by historic tree line. If I find the sign, I'll let you know. But also I have people walking past, and I'm a bit self-conscious about the old vlogging thing in front of other people. Do you know what I mean? Because it probably looks a little bit weird. Because it is a little bit weird. Anyway, I am sorry about the lack of posting the last week, but I haven't really been in the mood. And I literally got in the mood in the last 30 minutes and thought, let's do this now. Let's do the show right here. So I'm doing the show right here. So, birds up there now. I'm going to go home before I have an accident in my nappy. And I'm going to put this vlog together. And I'm going to start my weekend. Look, there's birds, loads of them. And I'm probably going to have some beans on toast for tea. That sounds nice. And then I shall be on my own for the weekend. But this weekend we're going to try and make the most of it. And at least Sunday I finally get to go and see Liz again for the first time in about 3 weeks. So that'll be nice. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Total Ramblings.